Hello, my friends, and welcome back to this walkthrough of Final Fantasy VI with me, jrpg. In the last episode, Celes made her escape from the solitary island and managed to find another survivor, Sabin. This reunion filled her, and us I might add, with confidence that all of our friends are alive, making getting the band back together, so to speak, the top priority. With that in mind, we're going to make our way east over the now above-ground Serpent Trench to Molbliz, so let's get going. But first, in the interest of show don't tell, I'm going to try to get into an encounter in the desert, and this is who I was looking for, the Black Dragon. Now this guy is very dangerous when you're alone. However, if you have Sabin, you can just put him right in the ground. But he can inflict zombie, and if you don't have a relic equipped that resists it, you can get an instant game over. But with that out of the way, fairly quickly I might add, we're going to go ahead and swap out the ribbon for some earrings for Celes, and we're going to hit the road. Why don't we go ahead and heal up before we do that? And this is going to be quite a long walk, but that is a good thing since I am still working on those level 2 spells for Celes. And in that last fight, Sabin just finished up his Esper. That would be Zone Seek, and I think I'm going to go ahead and put Seraphim on him. I know that it comes with no level up bonuses, but my reasoning is that Sabin's MP is kind of useless since Blitz kind of does it all. So I think having access to cure spells will be a efficient use of that MP. So let's go ahead and do that. And this is going to be quite a long walk, but while we're on the way, I have a couple of things that I want to talk about. And the first one is the non-linear aspect of the World of Ruin. To be clear, you don't have to do things in the order I'm doing them in. I'm just doing them in the way that makes the most sense plot-wise to me. But I think it adds a lot of replayability that you can do this in any order you want, allowing you to prioritize or experiment on subsequent playthroughs, and I think that's just great. Oh, Bloompires are new, so we can leave this in. These guys are very interesting, actually. They have only 12 HP, and have 254 physical and magic resistance, which makes them very hard to damage, unless you know they're undead, and you can just destroy them with Cure. And so, picking back up my thought from a moment ago, there is a very interesting fact about the World of Ruin that I learned just recently. Oh, these guys are new, so that's gonna have to wait. The Buffalax, who is the big guy with the horn, has 2,252 HP, is weak to fire and water, and can counter magic attacks with Sunbath. Most of the time he'll do that when he dies, but it is pretty annoying. He can heal about 600 HP if you do hit him with magic and don't kill him. And then the Delta Bugs have 612 HP, they're weak to fire, and have a sleeping bag as a rare whip. But down they go, just like everybody else, no problems there. But Celes did gain a level, and that is quite nice. So, what I was going to say a moment ago is that it turns out that in the World of Ruin there are only 3 mandatory characters. Everybody else is optional. The 3 mandatory characters are Celes, Edgar, and Setzer, and it actually affects the way that the ending credits play out, which is just absolutely mind-blowing to me. And with that fight, Celes just finished her level 2 magic, and that is just great. And I think I'm going to swap out for Phantom to give that MP boost. You can always use more MP. Why not? Alright, here we are. Let's get into town. And immediately we are stopped by the guard dogs. And a kid comes running out, and he says, "Wah! Someone's coming!" And he runs back in, and these are not very good guard dogs because they just let us right past, but they do bark when you talk to them, and I really like that. Now, before we follow him, we're going to stop in here to show you that there is nothing at all. But this way you don't have to take my word for it. However, there is a little something in the relic shop just up here. There's obviously nobody at the counter, but this bed is a free inn. And we're going to go ahead and take advantage of that because we did use a decent amount of MP on the way here. And now, let's go follow that kid and see what's going on here. And he stops us right away and says, "You're going to have to fight your way in here, chumps." But a voice cries out, "Wait!" And look who it is, it's Terra! And the kid says, "Mama, are these your friends?" And she nods, "Yes, we are." Terra says, "Oh, I'm so glad to see that you're safe. I've missed you." And Sabin says, Terra, come on, let's go. Unless we stop Kefka, all's lost. But Terra replies, Now let's talk to everyone in here. This kid says, our papas and mamas are gone. This one says, Dwayne and Katerin are the oldest ones here. And this one says, everyone here calls Terra Mama. This kid says, I saw Dwayne kissing Katerin. Yeah, adults do that sometimes, or so I'm told. And this one says, but we'll be happy if Terra will come back to us. This kid says, you're not going to take Terra away, are you? And I was thinking about it, but now I'm sort of second-guessing that, right? This kid says, the light took everyone. Everyone. Dad, Mom. And that is just brutal. And this kid says, a badly wounded soldier passed away here in Molbliz. And that is indeed the soldier we were sending the letters for. Unfortunately, he's gone too. Now let's talk to the only other adults. Dwayne says, this is our village. You can't just waltz in here and start barking out orders. And Katerin says, Terra's helped us all to survive. Ever since she's been here, we felt hopeful for the future. And it kind of makes sense why she's maybe conflicted about leaving, but let's go talk to her. Terra says, that is, I can't fight any longer. The very day the world fell, Kefka turned some kind of beam on this town, and that would of course be the Light of Judgment. And she says, almost all the adults perished trying to save their children. The parents say it's headed this way. Protect the kids. Papa, Mama. And I just don't have any words for that. That is just brutal, isn't it? And Terra says, there were only children here. The moment I arrived, I felt needed. And Dwayne comes barging in. You can't take Terra away. And he runs off, and Katerin says, Dwayne, please excuse him. It's just that if Terra goes, she takes with her the very spirit of our survival. Terra says, I don't know why these kids need me, but they've made me feel things I've never felt before. And I think this is a very important line, and it illuminates the difference between the loves that Terra and Celes are both trying to find. Now, it might be true that Terra doesn't know what she's looking for, but what she's found here, or so she's finding out, is the more maternal, familial love. Whereas Celes is finding romantic love with her relationship with Locke. And you could be forgiven for thinking that maybe they're both looking for a romantic partner, but that's clearly not the case, and it's smart writing to allow those two kinds of love to coexist and be exemplified by two different characters. She says, the moment I sensed this, I lost my will to fight. She says, I can honestly say I don't know what's going on inside of me. And the more I try to understand it, the less inclined I am to fight. And I'm relatively certain that everybody's going to have the same things to say, right? Yeah. So it is time to get out of here. Let's get going. But, and this sort of thing is why I love the pacing in this game so much. This kid comes running in and he says, help! Run! Phunbaba's coming! And Terra runs out and hits a sick pose. And she somewhat expositionally says, Phunbaba's an ancient demon who was released when the world was undone. Good to know. Now, Terra, having lost her will to fight, is going to get absolutely wrecked in this fight, but that will give me time to talk about the Phunbaba fight, because it is not easy and I'm going to need to concentrate. So, Phunbaba has 28,000 HP total, but in the actual fight we will end up in, you will only need to deal 7,520. He absorbs Bolt and is weak to Poison, and as a big, green, weird-looking guy, Poison is probably the last weakness I would think of, but that is in fact what he's weak to. Now, he will start round 1 with a physical attack, and then he can do either Bolt 2 or Bolt 3. If he drops Bolt 3, somebody's dead, and then he will either do Solar Plexus, which is triple damage, Bolt 2, or Blowfish, which is 1,000 damage, which will also drop someone. So this is going to be challenging. And down goes Terra. But we come running over and say, Terra, wake up! Uh-oh, here it comes, and here it comes indeed. Okay, so it looks like we actually started very close to taking an action, so I am going to try to sneak in a bio round 1. This is a dangerous thing to do, but I'm going to do it. And let me be clear, you can definitely lose this fight. I did plenty of times practicing. So what we're going to do here, because he has round 2 of his attacks coming up, is try to get a runic down before he possibly does Bolt 3. And we do succeed on that. That is a little bit of a relief. And it was only Bolt 2, but if it had been Bolt 3, it would have dropped somebody and we would definitely be in trouble. And now, for round 3, I'm going to drop another bio because he has only, let's say, a 1 in 3 of doing Blowfish. So if he doesn't do that, we're going to win pretty easily. Now, this fight is much easier if you wait until later. You don't have to do it now, as I was saying earlier about the non-linear nature of this, but it is doable with just 2, as I am demonstrating now. And away he goes. We did it. Wow. Terra says, I've really lost it. My fighting edge. The kids cry out, Mama, are you okay? Terra says, I'm staying here. As you can see, I can't be of any help to you. And besides, the children really need me. And we reply, but Terra. And she says, maybe after a little more time passes. I need to understand what's happening to me. And if we talk to her again, she'll say, I'm sorry, I'm staying. The children need me. And yeah, I just don't think we can take her with us, even if she wanted to go. This kid says, I'll have you if something happens to Mama. And I wonder if that's the kid that called us chumps. I like him. If he would just get out of the way, I would like him a lot more. There we go. This one says, Mama, are you all right? And this one says, you can't take Mama away. And I think now it's time to hit the road. And this kid says, thanks for scaring Phunbaba away. In his haste, he dropped this. Here. And we received the Magicite Fenrir. And this one is pretty interesting. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Feels like a while since we've gotten a new one, but this one, as you can see, grants MP plus 30% at level up, which is slightly better than Phantom, so we're going to go ahead and put it on right away. One other interesting thing about it is that its summon is Moonsong, which grants the image status to the party, which is the only way in the game to do this other than the Shadow Edge, which is a throwing item for Shadow. Image evades physical attacks, with each evasion having a 25% chance to end the status. And unlike Vanish, Image does not increase your vulnerability to magic, so situationally it can be pretty good. Let's go ahead and throw that on. And it's time to hit the road. And I think before we do that, we might as well hit that free inn one more time. Why not? In this cozy little relic shop. And now you might be thinking the next destination, which you will see on the map very shortly, is quite a ways away, and it is. And if you are a little behind on levels, or magic, or you just want to grind, you could definitely walk there. But since we're doing fine on all those things, we're going to take a chocobo, which you can find in this chocobo forest here. And this guy says the chocobo is the noblest of creatures, and he is absolutely correct. Chocobo ride 100 gil sounds like a deal to me. And honestly, I could use the Chocobo song as a little bit of a pick-me-up, because the goings-on, or the things that we were made aware of in Molbliz, are pretty rough. And this song always just cheers me right up. And you can see on the map, the next place we're going is all the way at the other side of the Serpent Trench. But on the way there is a pretty neat point of interest. Relatively similar to the tower we saw right when we first washed up on land, there is this one here. And I don't know how well you can see that, but it is completely surrounded by mountains, so it is currently inaccessible. So it's something that we're going to want to keep in mind for later. And just up here, we are going to find the town of Nikke. And I am legitimately looking forward to exploring this place because there's a very cool scenario going on in there, but that's going to have to wait until next time because I'm all out of time for today. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next Final Fantasy Friday.